If you're an anime fan, you may have heard of a series called Orb on the movements of the Earth. This show is about the study of, well, the Earth, and opposing theories during the 15th century in astronomy of heliocentrism, the Earth and planets revolving around the sun, versus geocentrism, the Earth is the center of the universe as God intended, or so they thought. While this sort of debate may seem simple on the surface, the difficulty of getting people to support heliocentrism and go against the church is no simple feat, as the series demonstrates in beautiful fashion. I think what makes the show so special is how each arc really touches on a key topic surrounding this scientific debate, which is all too relevant today given how anti-intellectualism is on the rise and people are not trusting scientists and doctors. They touch on not just the structure of society and how power dictates what is believed, but also ego getting in the way of progress, how doubt can creep in, how it takes extreme conviction to go against the world, and whether knowledge should be for everyone or only those who can do something with it. This is a question that is discussed in the relationship between Badeni and Oxy. Oxy is a man who can't read or write. He wants to die due to the earth being so vile in comparison to heaven, and he has no reason to oppose geocentrism. Badeni, in contrast, is a pious scholar whose insatiable curiosity has caused him a series of pains, both physical and emotional. Despite all of this, Badeni goes forward and doesn't stop in his research for the truth. When he first meets Oxy, he's willing to hear him out to see if it's worth his time. When presented with observations of Mars from Oxy's friend Glass, he is surprised that these were done by a layman, quote unquote. He even says that when he had to talk to townspeople, he was bored to death. So initially, I think despite his predisposition towards common folk, we can see he still leaves the door open to them and can be swayed. Maybe this is just because he feels obligated at the church, but still, it starts the development of his character in excellent fashion. This leads him to follow Oxy to the black bin that contains all of the previous forbidden research on heliocentrism. A moving discussion occurs in which Badeni says how sublime the rotations of the earth are and that perhaps it is an extension of the Almighty above. This is where Oxy, which fun fact means eyes in Polish, is finally willing to look up at the sky again and see the beauty of the earth and face the possibility that the earth and the heavens are harmonious. He may not say he wants to believe in a real future or in the possibility that the world isn't terrible, but in his soul he knows that there is more to this life than what he has experienced before. This resonates, I think, with a very human element of not only hope, but natural curiosity. You can't help but seek truth, I think. To our core, we want to learn and don't want things left to chance or the unknown. We see two people going against what their life has taught them for a greater purpose in the hope that they can change the world. I think this inability to let go also shows itself when Badeni is willing to sacrifice everything to leave a letter for Grabowski, his fellow church member, which ends up being quite important to the development of Badeni's character and making us really warm up to him. Before that though, we see what may be the most important piece of exposition from Oxy. He explains how things should move forward and what would be a different and better approach to studying heliocentrism. He feels confident enough to even speak out against Badeni's lone wolf approach and almighty ways, while he proposes a sort of communal scientific method, which we use today. While Badeni gives pushback on his stance and says that you need conviction to move forward and not get lost in a sea of doubt from others' feedback, I think the point of this scene is that it shows tremendous growth from both of them. Oxy taking the lead and running the conversation, while saying something that could be critical of Badeni speaks in and of itself. But the growth of Badeni is shown by him being largely quiet and letting Oxy speak until the end and hearing everything he has to say. This type of conversation wouldn't have been possible when they first met. I find it very moving how Badeni developed here through largely silence, and it exemplifies their character arc's adjoined journey beautifully. Back to the church, Badeni leaves a letter for Grabowski in which he gives him the writings he was so passionate about. This then results in him accepting Badeni's favor and educating the homeless that Badeni tattooed pages from Oxy's book onto their scalps, thus spreading heliocentrism down the line. Grabowski was a perfect candidate for this due to his desire for knowledge and literature, and Badeni using Oxy's book, which he previously condemned him for writing it, really shows him leaning on others he previously looked down upon. He even spares Oxy's eyes later, which shows his empathy for his friend despite his stout conviction and his attempts to posture that he couldn't care less. He opens himself up despite this going against his initial character's core and ideals. This newfound empathy and understanding was already there, just locked away. The emotional depth displayed is really moving, and it results in heliocentrism being passed down through the masses rather than the elite few, which is crucial because showing the message that people are capable of great things when they work together and that knowledge must be widespread is important for science and the advancement of mankind. His demise occurs as a result partially because of his letter to Grabowski, but that was probably inevitable. He did things the right way for his soul. This arc overall I find to be arguably the best due to the development of the two and how intertwined it is. The moments of them bonding before they are executed are somehow sad but hopeful in tone. They have faith that the truth will prevail and their efforts aren't in vain. Hope in this world is the most important thing, and they wear that hope on their sleeves at the end. Well, that concludes my first video essay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to make more of these and improve as I go. Please like and subscribe, and if you're interested in gaming, check out my other channel. Peace.